Hi everyone, thanks for tuning into my channel, Ruby the Realtor. So earlier in the week, I focused on the buyers and 5 mistakes that buyers make when purchasing their first home. Today's video is focusing on the other side, the sellers. So I know there's a lot of people that are thinking about selling their home and getting their second home. And I know you're bombarded with information and you don't know where to start because it's a big process, right? Selling your home, and you want to make sure that you're doing the right thing and you're exploring our options. So today's video is going to focus on the sellers, and here's some tips for sellers that I recommend when selling your home. Okay, so the property assessed tax value. That one should sound familiar to you homeowners out there. So when you get your taxes in the mail, the appraisal district appraises your house for a certain amount. This is not based on the market value, which is completely different. So before you assume, oh, my house has gone up in value, it's time to sell, it's gone up significantly, that's a good thing. Taxes and appraised value are completely different from what you're actually going to sell your house for. What you're going to sell your house for is what the market costs, meaning comparisons of other homes sold similar to your house in your neighborhood within those specifications. That's going to give you a true value of your home value. Your property taxes and your tax assessed value are completely different from how much your house is going to be sold for. That's a whole other video talking about taxes and that kind of thing. But that needs to be really clear to people, because I know a lot of times people say, oh, I don't want to fight my taxes because my value keeps going up and I want to sell in a couple of years, so just leave that alone. So most people tend to live in their house for 5 to 7 years before they start thinking about selling. So I'm sure a lot of you all who are thinking about selling are probably getting a lot of different propaganda and things like that from different companies. iBuy type companies that say, I'll buy your house cash and you don't have to pay realtor fees and we'll do it all for you and things like that. And I know there's a lot of iBuy companies type up there, you know, OfferPad, Open Door, those kind of companies. And there's a lot of them outside of your typical traditional real estate type companies. Well, what I want you to ask yourself, because I know a lot of people have asked me this, they say they can save all this money on not paying realtor fees. Ask these companies and people who are offering you cash and things like that, ask them, what are the other fees that I'm not hearing about? And maybe I don't have to pay commission to a realtor, but what are some of the other fees? What's my bottom line? Because a lot of times these type of companies, and in general, just when you are shopping for an agent and you do decide on the one you decide to go on to, you really want to understand all the different costs that come with selling your home. And some of these are not clearly defined. You want to make sure that you get the most for your home and you keep the equity and that you're not giving it away in the process of fees. So really understand that, especially when people are saying you don't have to pay realtor fees, use us. You know, really ask yourself and ask them those questions. What are my fees then? What am I going to be paying? If it's not this, what else am I paying to sell my home? What's going to be my bottom line when my home sells for X amount? Okay, so another thing that I see some of the sellers that are considering whenever they start thinking about selling their home is they tend to think, oh, let me price my house way above value because I want to make 250, so let me price it for 270 so I can make that 250 because I don't want somebody to lowball me and things like that. What you want to make sure, a lot of times, you want to make sure that your house is priced right to sell, because the last thing you want is having a home that's way above value, being marketed way above value, and people are not even looking at it. And that does happen sometimes, because a lot of times you think, oh, I don't want to sell it too low, I want to try to get the max amount of money because this is my investment and I'm buying another home. But when you go about that route, a lot of times those houses, when they're way overpriced, they tend to sit on the market. So what happens when a house is sitting on the market for a long time? It gets stigmatized. And people, consumers, start thinking, why isn't this house selling? What's wrong with it? It's been sitting on the market for 5-6 months and it's not moving. What's wrong with it? And not just that, even worse, they say, oh, they must be desperate. They have it for 270 and it's been on the market for this long. I'm gonna offer them 200 because they must be desperate because it's been sitting on the market this long. So you really want to make sure that you're pricing your house right to sell it fast so you can move on to the next chapter in your life. You don't want to sit on this and worry about this. And that's just one part of it. The longer your house is sitting on the market, you're still paying mortgage on this house. You're still worrying about lawn care. You have to keep this house clean. You have to pay security. You have to pay all kinds of other costs because, like I said, it does cost to sell your house. The house sitting there is costing you money as well. Okay, so another thing that I want to talk about is depersonalizing your home, sellers. So I know you love those pictures on the refrigerator and all those little personal things, wedding photos, hanging out on coffee tables and things like that. These are things that you want to try to declutter as soon as that for sale sign goes up on your home. And I say this because you may think it's all cute and adorable to have your baby's first picture and all that fun stuff, but buyers, when they're coming into your home, they want to visualize themselves as if it's their home. And if they see a lot of personal stuff of yours lying around in a calendar with a bunch of pictures of family and things like that, those things actually, they can't envision themselves in your home if they see that. So think of your home not as your home anymore. As soon as that for sale sign goes up there, think of it as an asset. I need to sell this thing to move on to the next chapter in my life. So along with depersonalize your home, I can't emphasize enough decluttering your home. And this is something that as you start thinking about selling your home, this is something that you can start doing now. Just start putting things away, have those garage sales, get rid of stuff, open your house up, make it more open. Open is the new thing, but he wants that open concept. Kitchen that ties in with the living room and the dining room, that kind of thing. Try to make your house as open as you possibly can. I can't emphasize that enough. And I'll tie that into another great thing, which is making sure that you have the right pictures of your home, the right angle and stuff like that. Of course, I can help you with that because whenever we do sell your house, then I would get a professional photographer to go in there and take some really nice pictures. Pictures are key because a lot of these people, consumers that is, whenever they start looking at homes, the first place they start looking is on the internet, right? So you want to have really nice pictures, really lit up rooms, and that can only really be captured with professional photography. So again, thank you for tuning in today to my tips to homeowners on selling their home. I hope to hear from you and I'd love to help you sell your home. Hablo español, si quieren vender su casa, su terreno, llámenme, les puedo ayudar también.